Well, Pig and Dragon meets in 2023. I love that.
Here
Hey,
we
Jen.
go. Yeah, here we go.
Good morning. It's
Good
morning.
morning.
Morning somewhere. It's morning here.
So we took a little break
Yeah.
on these live streams, and partly because we had a big family event that was focused on an extreme medical emergency, a
Yeah.
crisis that one person experienced in our family.
Yeah.
And we were able to really come together and observe illness in an extreme situation.
That's true.
And the Western medical response and the addition of the tradition of some important traditional Chinese medicine responses.
Yeah.
And a lot of faith and trust and love and a lot of healing that took that person from near death situations more than once.
Yeah.
Back to living a pretty normal life.
It was incredible. It can happen when it looks very dire. Things were looking very dire, and when we look at it today, it's like, what was that?
Right.
And yeah, I really wanted to kind of talk about this, as we could talk about the New Year's and that's exciting. New Year and new moon coming up. Full moon coming up the end of the week. That's exciting. But I think that this was such a powerful example and a good opportunity for, at least for you and me anyway, to really, kind of reclaim our faith in a certain way. Because, I mean, even when you present the problem as like, illness, because as soon as you're swept up in the Western medical framework, it's illness. And in a certain way, we all accept that it's illness because, you're sick. And, in all of our work and training with Grandmaster Lu, it's like, but illness is undiscovered purpose. He says that over and over again. Illness is undiscovered purpose. So we have to reframe the idea of illness. And along with that, we probably reframe the idea of what death is. So, the whole thing challenges our basic, the overarching understanding we walk in, the sea of understanding we walk in the culture about, yeah, you're well or you're sick. And when you're sick, body functions are compromised, and then you need all this, in this case, intensive care unit care, very, very high level intensive treatments. And, it's like, well, it's great that they exist. I mean, we have to admit that in our world, it's fantastic that that level of care exists. And at the same time, we saw that, that was on a certain path. And then we add to it the, medical Qigong and love, just family love, so much love that, really makes a difference. And then if I can continue for one more second, like when I think about this, all of that's true. And then you have the mystery of the person, the person himself, who somehow inside him, something happened. And that to me is the biggest mystery, because we really don't know. None of us really know, in a way, what's going to happen inside of us, what kind of transformation can happen, so that regardless of what looks like bad situation or dire situation, we can come through it and be transformed. Or at least be at the precipice of transformation, maybe transformed, but at least it's right in front of you if you want to take it. And then you also get a physical improvement, medical improvement, profound medical improvement that's unexpected. Like, so the whole thing is like, that's inside the person. It's not me, it's not you, it's not any of us around who are supporting, trying to do things to be helpful. It happens inside each person. That's magical to me. Like, we just don't know what is it? What's that spark that can happen that is so powerful? I think that was really, really eye-opening. And we, also we see it in our work. It's not just that this time, we see it. We try to communicate this to people, even here in our Pig and Dragon conversations. We try and communicate to people, there's something remarkable here that we can touch. And if you get in it and you practice this way and you think this way and you start to bring this into your life, profound, remarkable things can happen and do happen
Do happen, right?
inside of us. And then it shows up outside somehow.
Right,
Really powerful.
right, right. And the amount of that, of what shows up on the outside, the connection of how that shows up on the outside, to me, in my experience, and what was reinforced by this most recent months, really has the most to do with love. It
Yeah.
has the most to do with reinforcing love, and has the most to do with reinforcing I don't know what the hell is going on here,
Yeah.
but I'm just going to find my easiest way through it.
Yeah.
And keep looking for those easy ways through it, so that I can keep so that I can keep walking with the love for whatever's in front of me. I think the trap of thinking about we all have the potential in us to heal is that we walk away from that thinking that we can't, that if we don't heal, somehow we've screwed up, or we've lost our potential, we haven't met our destiny. When in fact, whether or not we heal is the mystery. That we're judging the healing result as the purpose, when in fact we don't know what the purpose is. When a person who's gone through something that is this healing experience might walk out and get hit by a bus tomorrow, or have a tumor in a few weeks, or something else might happen. Is that the failing of his healing? No, it's just another event. It's just another thing to bring your love to and bring your faith to. Healing doesn't mean you never get sick. Illness is just something that we judge somehow as our weakness, as our body's betrayal. When in fact, I think part of the purpose of that is to show us how much love we have to use in this world.
Yeah, I think that we see that. That's great. We see that as kind of that's fundamental. Like the love equation is fundamental. And then, if we want to try to embrace, say, more of what Master Lou is teaching us, because he speaks a lot about love too, he would say, like, well, your body's trying to show you something when these conditions appear. That's loving too.
Of course.
Like this thing you're going through that's so awful sometimes is your body's best attempt to get you to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can wake up and you can have a physical healing experience. Often that happens. Or you can wake up and not have that, and you've woken up.
Mm-hmm.
It's still internal.
Right.
Because the ultimate outcome, we don't understand.
Right.
What we would say people's contract is.
Right.
If you're going to die from this particular, whatever it is, this condition or what we call illness, then you're going to die from it.
Right. Another aspect of the energy framework are the relationships. So yes. A person who has the illness isn't the only person who's being impacted by whatever's going on.
That's so
the event is part of the framework of relationships. And,
exactly.
I, for a while, was sort of thinking like, oh, I'm being dragged along by this event. I have to make these changes, and I have to be over here and not over here. But I was part of creating that event. I was part of moving that event.
We all were. So I think that's really, really important, because everything,
right.
Again, if we just step back, because I like to step back a little bit and say, like, it's all about relationships. Everything's about relationship. And then what's the quality of the encounter we can have, in a relational encounter? What's the quality of that? Because mostly we want to avoid and escape.
Mostly we want to avoid and escape, and blame, also blame. And say, like, I'm experiencing this because you did this, or you're having this, or it's your, but really that's my reflection, my mirror. So,
so right. Yeah. And if I could just say that, it's great. Avoid, escape, blame.
Yeah.
Feel helpless.
Right. Which actually, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go.
These are all excuses for us to run away from our own expression of purpose and love.
Yeah.
I can't love you if you do this, or I can't love you when you're sick, or I can't love you if you died. But in fact, those again are just more excuses to hide our love, to
Beautiful.
hide, to live in our fear instead of living in our fearlessness and taking the stage, as Masterly would say, and letting it all hang out, you know?
Here, here. Well said. Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh,
Well,
well,
that we can carry into 2023, and what a year that will be.
beautiful.
All
Thank you.
right.
Bye,
Onward.
everybody.